welcome back to VLR with Justin and Ulam. So, once again, the Ambidex Gate game has been opened a lot earlier than normal.
Somebody else must have opened one of the AB rooms.
Why would they do that? Yep, to put a time limit on the rest of us, certainly. Probably Dio again. Whatever, we should be heading back anyway, yep. But this time, we're very unlikely to be able to actually see the bottom floor then. Clover's voice stopped me. What? I turned to see her pointing toward the wall with the treatment pods.
The screen, it changed.
What screen?
The screen on the pod's monitor thingy.
Alright. To say what? System fine, probably? Oh yeah, it says, recent operational records. Do we really have time? Stepped closer, began to read. What it said was interesting. Currently treating one subject. Yeah, no kidding. This was the pod we put him into, after all. Thank you. I couldn't have figured that one out on my own. One subject released. One subject successfully restored. Cold sleep mode disengaged. Beginning restoration of one subject. All prior records have been erased. Authorization admin. Why weren't these removed in that case? Check the other pods. They were all the same. One subject released. Successfully restored. Cold sleep mode disengaged. Beginning restoration of one subject, prior records released, blah, blah, blah. What is all this?
It's saying that about 8 hours ago, somebody in this pod woke up from cold sleep.
Somebody in all three from the sound of
three
things.
People, actually. One for each pod. They all say the same thing, see?
That's before we all woke up, huh? I mean, it hasn't been 8 hours yet. So the 3 people could be 3 of us. They could have been captured earlier. Don't know how much earlier. Then they were thought out 8 hours. Let's read, shall we? 8 hours ago and carried into the AB rooms.
That seems reasonable. I really don't think there'd be anyone else in here besides the 9 of us.
Which would have to mean that the other, that whoever was operating those 3 also has to be one of us. But I guess we already knew that as well. Yes, including the old lady. Yep. So, who are the 3 pod people?
How am I supposed to know that? All it says is subject. A, that's creepy. B, it doesn't tell us anything about who they might have been.
Indeed, and we are wasting very precious time, potentially. Doesn't say when they were put into cold sleep either.
And this bit, where it says, all prior records have been erased.
I wonder why they wouldn't just write the time, though. Well, you say it yourself, the log says 8 hours ago, not like 9:15 a.m. Those minus signs have to mean this far in the past. Who would ever write the time like that?
That is weird.
As if that part's perhaps been tampered with, do you mean, maybe? I don't know. What does it matter? Maybe Zero Senior doesn't want us to know what the actual time is.
Why not?
Why would that matter? I know, we can't see outside, so what does it matter? Speaking of things I don't know, why did this stuff suddenly show up? It seems like whatever it was that triggered this activated as soon as we opened the door to leave.
Wouldn't that mean Zero Senior set it up to work that way?
Or it was already set up to work that way and he just didn't stop it, but, you know, whatever.
Maybe he wanted us to see the records.
Perhaps, but he deleted a bunch of the data.
Could it all be a trick? All of these records are fake. Zero Senior just set it up to mess with us.
Maybe.
Well, I can't, right?
No, it doesn't make sense. This would all be very expensive for a joke.
Well, let's ask some. Maybe they can think.
Sure. Meanwhile, we need to be getting upstairs anyhow. Double check that Quark was alright and then hurried out of the treatment center. I don't know. Telling Tenmyoji? Yes. Telling anybody else precisely what's going on with Quark? Probably not a good option. We don't know that we can trust any of them, and if we let any of them out of our sight, they may come down here and defrost him, which would put him in danger, etc., etc. Tenmyoji deserves to know. Anybody else? Maybe not. So curiously, this time we do actually get to see the white chromatics, but
hey, could you show
we're
me
also
that map?
Really quickly going to be heading upstairs.
I thought so. This one is right under the floor.
Yes, of course it is.
Oh, are those?
Yep,
and
here to
there
be
are 3
white
of them.
chromatics.
I knew these are chromatic doors. See?
For being the time where we had the AB alarm go off the earliest, we are spending the most time messing around here on this lower floor.
Got a little box right next to them.
So these are the third round chromatic doors, clearly. Guess we'll be coming back here pretty soon.
Well, we might not have to. We
What do you
both
mean?
have 6 BP right now.
Clover.
We're a pair, right? And who's our opponent? Exactly. But he's in the pod right now, so...
If no vote is recorded before the deadline has passed...
Yeah. You aren't saying we should pick Betray, are
you
you?
Planning to? I thought that was why you were okay with option C when we were making the groups.
No, I just wanted us to get a decision made. Choose ally and not worry about
come
getting
on.
betrayed.
You don't need to lie to me. We're partners.
Yeah, well,
That means we
you
share the same,
made
so
a
let's
promise.
not hide
Well, no, I
anything
guess
from
maybe
each
she
other,
didn't
okay?
quite make a promise, but
Wait,
I'm not hiding
You're
anything.
serious? You were really going to pick ally? Whoa. Hold on a second there. We might not get another chance like this.
Sure we will. If we choose ally, then the very next game, all we have to do is choose ally again and we're fine.
Let's say we ally and get up to 8 points. We don't know if we'll be able to get any points next round.
No, we don't know, but odds are
For all
decent.
we know, there might not even be a next round. There are 3 other people with 6 BP, right?
That's a fair point, though.
Dio, Kay, and Phi. What do you think's going to happen if one of them gets 9 points this round?
They're gone.
Why not?
Oh, okay, so Phi and Luna are playing against Tenmyoji. He's only got 1 BP left, though. I really don't think they'd pick Betray. If Tenmyoji picked ally, they'd kill him. The same goes for Dio. He's playing against Alice and Kay, and Alice's BP...
No! Don't even think about that!
I agree, but her BP is the same as Tenmyoji, so unless Dio's willing to kill someone, he won't be able to get his BP to
Then Alice
9.
has to vote Betray.
Yeah, that is basically the best
But if
defensive
Dio
choice.
chooses ally, then Kay would have 9 BP.
Yeah, so...
Jeez. Well, it's just like I said then.
But then, yeah, Dio's not gonna want to let that, because Kay will just book it out, and then Dio's stuck here with us, so, yeah, no.
If Kay gets 9 BP, then there won't be a third AB game.
Well, that's not necessarily the case.
So it's over when someone gets 9 BP.
No. As long as that person doesn't open the number
But
9
we know
door,
for certain,
the game
if Kay
goes
gets 9,
on.
he's out of here.
So you think that Kay will stay here?
No.
Even if he gets enough points
Unless,
to
once
leave?
again, you're messing with his character based on which timeline we're in.
No, it's not.
Well, we can think about how we're gonna vote later. For now, we need to get back to the others. There's a couple things I gotta do when we get back.
Fine.
Okay, back to floor A then. Let's move. Turned and headed for the exit. After a few minutes, I heard her footsteps falling behind me.
Clover.
Alright, so we're back.
Oh, thank goodness you're back.
Yep.
Are we the
yes.
last ones? What? Duh, considering how much extra time we spent.
Hey, where's Quark?
We ate him. Tenmyoji's expression was furious, and from the way he was stomping toward me, I felt like I only had a few seconds before I was on the ground with his hands around my neck. I explained what had happened with Quark and the pods as quickly as I could.
So are these pod things really safe?
Probably.
Probably.
No, they're definitely safe. No, the right answer is not no, they're definitely safe. It's what other options did we have, Tenmyoji? The tranquilizer is going to wear off eventually. He's definitely
Are
safe,
they
he's
safe
fine.
or aren't they? Look, I'm just worried about him, all right?
Yep,
Can you
and
take me
we
to
are
this
too, but we
treatment
just
center,
have
Clover?
no other options anyhow.
Don't worry, we've still got 20 minutes left.
Still, based on your own plan, which was to have Clover go in and vote without me, I should be the one to accompany you, not
Plenty
her.
of time to go have a look and come back.
Okay, come on then.
As soon as she finished, she was off. Tenmyoji followed at her heels, in the blink of an eye, they were gone out the magenta door. I really don't feel like it matters at all which door they went through, but thanks for the extra information anyway, I guess. Alright, you guys got some splaining to
I
do.
beg your pardon?
You opened the AB gates before Clover and I got back, didn't you? I want to know why the hell you'd go and do something like that.
Sigma, take a look.
At... Finding the AB rooms, only one was open.
It's not like we opened them all up.
So you're saying only one person or one pair jumped the gun
Yes.
here? Well then who was it? Who do you think? Yeah, of course. Figured as
Not really
much.
a big deal, okay?
You put us on a time limit. That's something of a deal.
I mean, you came right back.
Yes, Dio, yes, it is a
Why?
big deal.
If you hadn't made it back by the deadline, you'd have just defaulted to ally.
No, not just. Are you telling me you didn't know? Didn't you find one of these notes?
What?
No. So, curiously enough, there is only one scenario where he doesn't do that, then, presumably, and it's when he is with the group that goes through the room that gets this one card, which isn't in anyone else's
There was no such thing in a
path.
pressure exchange chamber.
Yep, for some reason.
See one in the
Well, whatever. You should probably read it, though.
Here are some more. Not the
Yeah, okay, I know. There we go. Just get to his response. You get it now? If we hadn't gotten back in time, Clover, Cork, and I could have died. No, the word you're looking for there, Sigma, is would.
All right, I get it. Sorry. Cut me some slack, though, man. I didn't know.
Yeah, but you still didn't care
Of
enough
course
to
I
be
wouldn't
cautious.
have.
Whatever.
What the hell, bro?
Anyway. Now, as we wait for Tenmyoji and Clover to get back, I assume...
You said the room you went into was a treatment center, right?
Of a sort?
If they treat people there, I'd think they'd have shelves of medicine and stuff.
I should probably keep quiet about what
Did
I
you
found.
find any Excelavir?
No, it's not really that kind of place. Just had those pods and that was it. Besides, if we'd found anything to cure Radical 6, we wouldn't have put Cork in the pod.
I see. Can the pod cure Radical 6?
No,
How
unfortunately.
do you know that?
Oh, well, it said so on the screen next to the pod. Something about how it can provide relief from the symptoms, but can't actually cure the disease. That's better than nothing, though. Oh, right, there's one more thing about the pods I should tell you. Alright, I guess he is just spilling the beans right here. As quick as I could explain what the records had said about the occupants and their cold sleep. At least 3 of us came from them. And time...
Cold sleep?
what time it is being hidden from us. For
Are you
reason.
suggesting that 3 of us were, until recently?
Yes, obviously.
Which of us are the pod people then?
Does it really matter? Didn't say who they were, even when they were frozen.
So this cold sleep, that means they basically froze the body solid, right? Not
From the
like
sound
how a
of it.
bear or something hibernates.
No.
So what would happen to the heart?
Ha-ha! Good point, Fi. The heart would stop, and likely is not.
Wouldn't it stop when you were put...
Yeah, which should mean that the bracelet would come off. So we can all potentially get out. If we go into cold sleep, our bracelets would come off.
Then we can just defrost our...
You said there were 3 pods, right?
Well, yeah, so
We
we'd have to
only
take
need
turns.
to do it 3 times for the 9 of us.
One issue we're not taking into account, though, unless we have a lot more of the tranquilizer, Quark, on the other hand, is in there for a very different reason, and probably needs to not come out unless we can get some of the cure.
I imagine that will work for you, but perhaps not so much for me.
Without the key, anyhow.
Don't worry. I'm sure we'll figure something out. We should go have a look at any rate.
Really?
Maybe
I think
come
we
up
should
with a
finish
plan
the
once
AB
we
thing
know.
first, but
Of
okay.
course.
Time is a ticking. See, this time, though, we just immediately jump down here. So they knew that sometimes they wanted to make the transition just one story beat to the next, regardless of where they were in space.
What do you mean the cold sleep function doesn't work?
Well, that's not...
Sorry.
Huh, that's fascinating.
You don't have anything
then.
to apologize for, Luna. Zero Senior must have just locked it down.
That makes sense. It would be a little easier. When Clover and I were here at work,
Yeah, I remember checking it.
Then
Yep.
that bastard set this up.
that's part of what changed as soon as the door opened. So conceivably, had we thought of that, we could already have our bracelets off, but we didn't think of it in time.
Oh, that's low.
It is not pleasant. But consider this. We have seen how thorough Zero is. Would he really have left such an obvious loophole?
Well,
Maybe I
not
shouldn't have
as a
said
loophole.
anything. If Zero Jr. heard me, he could have shut it off.
Whatever the case, it is an unfortunate
Sure, but he's
outcome.
also obviously monitoring in other manners, so trying to do it without saying anything about it would likely have still resulted in that.
Unfortunate? Really? You sure? Aren't you just a little bit relieved? After all, we were gonna get our bracelets off while you were stuck with yours.
How could you say that? I would never be so petty as...
Before Kay could finish, the announcer's voice echoed through the facility. Yeah, saying, "You all really should have been having this conversation upstairs."
Until
Never mind, I
Ambidex's
guess.
game Poland closes.
We really have been moving fast,
All
apparently. We
players,
still have plenty of time.
No vote is
Yeah, we'll automatically...
Time's running out. We
Yep.
should get back, guys.
Absolutely.
I'm staying
Probably shouldn't
here.
have... Real? Oh, well, I guess he
I can't
afford
leave
that.
Quark.
Are you nuts, old
Wait,
man?
he's not a solo, is he? Oh,
You're
well,
a
I guess
solo.
yeah, it probably doesn't matter.
Luna and Phi could kill you.
Yeah, I know. I've only got 1 BP.
But are they really going to?
Exactly. If you don't vote, you'll default to ally. All they have to do is pick betray.
Ooh, on the other hand, if he doesn't just stay here, if he has us put him into one of these, not in the cold sleep function, obviously, but in the treatment function, then even if the bracelet releases the drugs into his system, it's quite possible that the pod would be able to remove that. In which case, that would actually only be a benefit to him, although then Phi would have 9 and she'd obviously book it. So never mind, he actually really doesn't want to
We
allow this
won't.
route anyway.
You staying here won't change our vote.
Right. We always intended to choose ally. Tenmyoji staying here is just...
Luna has the same number of BP as you, Tenmyoji. Normally, the safe plan would be to choose Betray. Since you will be unable to betray them, then Phi and Luna can choose to ally without worrying about their own points.
Yes.
Well, there you go. I trust Phi and Luna. I'm sure they'll
Sure,
choose
whatever.
ally.
Sounds good. All right, then you take care of
You
Quark.
think I need you to tell me that? I won't take my eyes off him for a minute.
Come on. We don't have much time left. We need to go.
I would argue we actually have plenty, considering we had 20 by the time we got up there, and we're all the way down here after all this conversation. It's only 10 minutes left now. Why did 2 of them not open? Weird.
4 minutes remain.
Well, I guess we took a little longer than I was thinking. All right, we should probably head into...
Okay.
So we're just not honoring what Tenmyoji was suggesting all the way back then? Whatever, I guess. Do a start. Do I get access to the... I want to check the path. I don't think it
Sima,
branches
do
here.
you remember what I said back in the other warehouse?
No, it does. Alright, so let's imagine that the shorter route will probably be to betray. So we'll do betray... Well, they both look to be about roughly the same, so we'll do ally first, then we'll betray. Yeah, he told me we should betray Quark since we might not get another chance like this.
Yeah. Can I, take that back? I
Sure.
changed my mind a little bit after I think we should choose ally.
Chill. Did he say something to you?
I can't tell you. I just can't. You'd laugh if I did anyway.
I really don't care
Really?
anyway.
Well,
Yeah,
I
let's
still
just move
can't.
on. Yeah.
I promise. I told Tenmyoji.
I've already decided I'm just gonna choose ally, and then we're gonna check betray in order to see what all the routes do, so let's just move on. Doesn't really have anything to do with this, right? Our
No,
opponent is
he
Quark.
does matter. Quark is really important to Tenmyoji. If we betray Quark, we're betraying Tenmyoji. Come on, don't you remember when we were going into the red, blue, and green?
I didn't say there wasn't anyone I trusted. Clover, just know that you'll keep him safe.
I can't betray
Yeah, blah,
somebody.
blah, blah. Yeah, you seem pretty ready to betray him back on
That's
floor
because
B.
I didn't know who he was.
Oh, okay. You're saying you know who Tenmyoji really
Well,
is?
if what he told me was true, yeah.
Alright, whatever. Once again, not
Please,
changing my
choose
mind
ally.
anyway. You aren't gonna try
If
and
I
vote
try,
yourself?
he'll just throw me off, right?
This is why we should have been honoring Tenmyoji's original plan, that she go in here and I not, but whatever.
I don't think I'm strong enough to. So,
So, move on. With that, turn to face the voting machine. What would I do? Ally or betray? Blah, blah, blah. I wasn't even taking into consideration that Quark was just a kid and he was infected with a deadly disease. It would almost certainly kill him if we didn't do something. How could I betray something like that? Only a monster would take advantage of a helpless child for their own gain. On the other hand, what Clover had said in the warehouse on floor B was true. It was unlikely I'd get a chance like this again. If I chose betray, I'd have 9 BP. I'd be able to escape this hellhole.
10 seconds
Blah, blah, blah. What was my choice? Okay, crying out loud, yes. Blah, blah, blah.
3, 2, 1.
And making me sit through the 3, 2, 1. Alright, let's check the ally route first.
Round 2. Results. Thank you. And the text.
what did you choose, Sig?
What, you didn't
No.
watch? Fine, whatever. Yeah, you'll know. Let's go. Pat on the shoulder, head toward the wall. More importantly, what did everyone else choose, and will that have changed based on whether or not I chose Betray or Ally?
Please.
Alright. Yes. So, did Alice and Phi do what they said? Alright, double Betray, that makes sense. Yep, Ally, alright. Yep, everybody did what they were supposed to. So they get nothing.
Points have. Please check your.
Alright.
So you chose out?
Yes, obviously. Blah, blah, blah. I couldn't... You don't need to thank me. I only did what anyone would have. So you guys chose Ally
Of
too,
course.
huh?
Tenmyoji had only one beep, so there's no...
If we had...
Yeah, you didn't have much choice. Surely didn't. Alice K and D, on the other hand, seem to have had a less pleasant round. I mean, not the worst, though, considering they both tried to betray, but they also just ended up neutralizing each other.
What the hell is your problem? You're either crazy or just an asshole. Were you trying to kill me?
No, nothing like that.
Well, then
He just
what
knew
was it
you were
like?
gonna betray. That's it.
If we'd voted ally, I'd...
You would be dead. The needles in your bracelet would have activated, killing you.
See? That's exactly what I'm talking about. I didn't think there was any way in hell you guys would choose Ally, not with Alice's BP at 1.
And you were
The
correct.
only way you could possibly vote was Betray. Picking Ally when I knew you guys would pick Betray would have been suicide.
You can't die. You've got 6 BP.
Well,
True.
maybe not immediately, no. But I would have been signing, heck, not just mine, everyone except Kay's.
What?
Didn't you think it through? Your vote was all. Let's say I was a raving lunatic and picked Ally. What would happen to Kay's BP?
6 plus 3.
See? Then it'd
And
be
he'd
game
be
over.
out of here.
Life over. He'd open the number 9 door and blow this popsicle, and that'd leave us twisting in the wind, living out the rest of our miserable lives stuck in this place.
Yep.
You see, that's why I chose Betray. I did it to save all our necks, including yours.
Essentially. Alice gritted her teeth and scowled fiercely at Dio, apparently trying to think of a rebuttal, before finally snorting indignantly and stalking away. Shortly thereafter, the warehouse was filled with the rumbling sound of the doors sliding shut. Alright, well, let's go check those white
The
chromatics
Adex
downstairs.
Round 3. Star keys. There is no set. The
Yeah.
Adex.
Many times as we want, huh?
We can
That
play the
means-
AB game, right?
Yeah, kinda.
Zero
Although,
Junior, say something
still,
about
it
this.
probably still only goes until the first person or persons get 9, and then they're out of here.
As soon as the gates close, the parents so
Yep. Yeah, he did. Can you guys show me your bracelets? I want to see where our colors and groups are this time. Right. I'm not bothering to really paying attention to this because it'll fall out in a moment. Anyway, Luna and Clover are cyan pair, Phi and Alice are a magenta pair, remaining 3s are all solos. Kay, Dio, and I'm blue. So that means that Tenmyoji and Quark must be the final pair.
Yeah, I heard about those. Alice told me about them while we were here waiting for you and Clover. I think I've got them figured out.
Yeah, so lay it out for us. How are the groups going to shake out this time? Once again, with the whites, there's only one way that any of the 3 groups can get through, so there's only one oh no, there are options? I thought that... Oh, well no, yeah, I thought that she established last time that there was only... Maybe she's going to list option A and it's the only option. Tenmyoji and Quark pair up with me, Sigma, to open one door. So it would be fine. Alice with Dio, and then Luna and Clover with
Oh?
Kay.
Is there only one option?
Yes.
Yeah,
The
again,
other
I was gonna say, I
combinations
thought
would be
that's what she had
admittedly.
said.
Tenmyoji and Quark aren't here for us to check.
But obviously
weren't,
by process of
Then Sigma would
elimination.
be stuck with...
Oh, God. I never thought I'd have to put up with Dio again.
Well, you just
Why
didn't
did you
think hard
possibly
enough
think
then.
that? Yeah,
Sooner or
obviously.
later, everybody puts up with Dio. Wait.
Anyway.
So, what should we do now?
Head down.
It looks like we have a lot of time until
Meet
the
up with
primary
Tenmyoji at
doors
least.
open.
About 80 minutes, goodness. Well, yeah,
I'm worried
again,
about Quark's... Those
we should
pods
probably
can't
head
cure
down and
Radical
talk with
6.
Tenmyoji.
Well, we don't have anything to lose. So we might as well look for that medicine.
Oh,
Accelavir, right?
sure.
Yeah, what about the rest of you?
Oh, I'll help.
As will I.
Well, I
Me
guess we'll
too.
split up then.
I guess I...
What about you, Sigma?
Of course I'll help. What kind of
Okay.
jerk wouldn't? After some discussion, Dio and Kay were assigned to the pantry, Luna, Alice to the treatment center, Clover found myself to the pressure exchange chamber.
Shall we regroup in the Floor B warehouse 10 minutes before the doors open?
Why not?
You are going to the treatment center.
Yes.
Then please remember to tell Tenmyoji where we intend to meet.
Okay.
Excellent
You must
point.
also remember to bring Quark with you.
Oh, right, yep, because we
I
have
am
to, right?
concerned about
Gotta be
removing
carrying
him
him
from the
again.
pod, but it can't be helped.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. So we should also probably look for more of the tranquilizer.
Without Quark's bracelet, Sigma and Tenmyoji will be unable to open the secondary door.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Good, looks like we got all that straight. Let's go.
Well, which I guess, now that I think about it, means I'm gonna be the one stuck carrying him, so... With a final nod to one another, we split up, each team heading in a different direction. Of course we did. Weird, all of a sudden now we're just making instant cuts. Why isn't this the way the game works on the whole? Yeah, I know there's no Accelavir in here.
No, this is the prep room. There are 2 levels.
Yep.
How do you know
One is
that? Alice
downstairs.
told me. She was one of the people who investigated this room.
Did you talk to her when you were waiting for us back in the
Yeah.
warehouse? Well, let's head
Good
downstairs
idea.
then. Find nothing. So this is the
Seems
real
like
thing. Why do they have something like this
Well,
here?
this is just what Alice told me, but
Apparently the pressure inside the facility was a lot higher than the pressure outside. That was part of a system designed to keep the virus from getting in. It did mean, however, that we need to go through a decompression process in order to get outside.
remember all those suits along the wall of the prep room? Those keep you from getting infected. We won't even be able to enter the pressure exchange chamber if we don't have them on.
I see. Whoa, 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 whoa. Then that newspaper article was right.
Unfortunately, that seems pretty likely.
So the air out there is teeming with Radical 6.
Something's been bothering me.
What is it?
Aren't you saying that if we put on those suits, we can go into the pressure exchange chamber and go outside, right?
Oh,
No, we
The door
can't yet,
beyond the
because this
pressure
one
exchange.
is locked up tight. Just one
well, if
between
you
us
look
and
at it
freedom.
that way, it's the same as the number 9 door.
Yeah, but...
Whatever. Quark needs it.
Yeah, you're right.
I'll go look
And
around
it's not
upstairs.
here.
You two take this floor, or...
Really?
Okay.
Are we sure we can't just tell already that it's just not here? Whatever. We looked everywhere we could think of, but turned up nothing. Eventually, I couldn't keep my mouth shut any longer. Hey, what do you think the deal is with the stuff about the world being infested with some crazy virus? Pandemic seems like it would make the news, but I don't remember hearing anything. Wait a minute, you mentioned it, didn't you, back when Dio was asking questions? We were in the infirmary. It was right after Quark lost it.
Have any of you guys heard anything about any sort of viral pandemic?
Well, but...
And then Alice said,
I have heard rumors about a virus being used as a bioweapon.
so what's the rumor she was talking about? I got the feeling you and Alice were talking about the same thing. Clover, what do you know? What are you and Alice anyway? I heard you guys belong to some sort of organization, but what is it? Clover was quiet for a long time. She bit her thumbnail and looked down at the floor. Then finally, she lifted her head and met my eyes. I can't tell you.
Fine.
Oh, no!
I think I can
Interesting.
trust you. Just don't tell Alice, okay?
Alright. Promise. Clover nodded and began to talk. I listened with rapt attention and at a complete loss for words. Here's what she said. Alice and I are agents of SOIS, which is under the jurisdiction of the Department of Defense. SOIS stands for Special Office of Internal Security, and we're an elite intelligence division that investigates potentially disruptive or dangerous elements, such as domestic or foreign terrorists, radical political splinter groups, and religious organizations with extreme agendas that could pose a threat to the state or citizenry. Of what state? Who cares, I guess. Our existence hasn't been made public, so there are only a few people who even know we exist. You're probably wondering how I even got involved in something like that. Well, it started when I met Alice. I told you I've played the Donnery game twice before, right? Well, this was after the second time, so about a year ago. We'd just escaped and we were all stuffed into this SUV barreling across the desert. I was driving, and that's when I saw her. Alice. She was staying next to the road with her thumb out. She was already working for the SOIS, and she'd been on her way to the building we'd been trapped in as part of her investigation. But on the way there, her car had broken down. We offered to give her a ride, of course, and then she found out, oh, you're the people I'm looking for. Yep, Alice got a tip that terrorists she was after were in the building we'd been trapped in. We couldn't see how us playing the nonary game had anything to do with the terrorists, but Alice had a suggestion. Maybe the two people who trapped you in there are the terrorists. It didn't seem very likely to us, but we were chasing after them anyway, so we decided to bring Alice with us. Unfortunately, we didn't find them. As far as we know, they're still out there now on the run. Anyway, we were taken back to SOIS headquarters and put into custody. I guess they thought there had to be some kind of connection between us being kidnapped and the terrorist group they were investigating. But they must not have found anything because after a few days of questioning, they let us go. We all went home and returned to our lives. But things didn't go back to the way they'd been. My mom got real worried about me and my brother since we'd gotten kidnapped twice now, so she hired bodyguards for us. Oh, I haven't told you about my brother, have I? He's super awesome, for one. And he was also in both of the last two nonary games. So anyway, we'd been grabbed twice, but the people behind the two nonary games were totally different. That didn't matter to my mom, though, so after that, these huge men in black suits followed me and my brother everywhere. It was awful. We were always being watched. People would look at us funny because we were being followed around by a bunch of creepy-looking guys. I couldn't stand it. Just when I thought I was finally be free, all that was waiting for me was another kind of prison. The only time I was really happy was when I was hanging out with my brother. So we were talking it over one day, and we decided to leave, like run away. So we did it. After that, we lived on our own. I worked in a cafe, and he composed music. He plays the harp, but he started writing this kind of new agey music. It got kind of popular, so we didn't have to worry too much about surviving. Sometimes he'd play at little venues like coffee houses and stuff, and his fans would show up and listen to him play and cry. Or some of them would meet on their own and recite stuff from the book he'd written and play his songs. Alright, this is getting way off track there, Clover. I know that sounds kind of like weird and culty, but they just do that stuff on their own, okay? My brother doesn't have anything to do with it. Anyway, we did that for a while, and then one day Alice showed up. I need your help, she told us. We need people who can do what you can do. What? So we went to the location she gave us, and it turned out to be the headquarters of SOIS, where they'd taken us after the second nonary game. They put us in a room with about a dozen or so other people who were all about the same age as us. A bunch of them looked familiar, too. It only took a moment to realize how we knew each other. They were the kids from the first nonary game. We were all excited to see each other again, and we were hugging and shaking hands and stuff, and then Alice walked in. The whole room went quiet. She walked up to the podium and looked around the room, making eye contact with each one of us. Right now, a terrorist organization is preparing for a major attack. They plan to trigger a viral pandemic. If they succeed, they will strike a massive blow against all of humanity, not just any one country. It's possible that we as a species will die out completely. We're doing our best to prevent this, but we need your help. You are what we call espers. You have the ability to access the morphogenic field. We need that. I'm guessing you don't... telepathy isn't really telepathy, it's probably the closest thing. Anyway, espers can resonate their consciousness with another person through this thing called the morphogenic field. Purpose of the first nonary game was to research that ability, so they kidnapped kids who had the potential to do it, threw them into the game. Alice had gathered up all the kids from that experiment. Well, I mean, it had been 9 years since it happened, so we weren't really kids anymore. Anyway, everybody she brought in was an esper. That included me and my brother, of course. I bet you think I'm just making all this up, huh? I don't blame you. It is pretty crazy. I mean, I'm even starting to forget I could do that stuff. So when I heard Alice's story, I was like, screw that. I was trying to move on with my life, and now some shady government creeps wanted me to use some weird ability I had for them. No way. I wasn't even sure I could do it anymore. Some of the others felt differently, though, and they told Alice they'd do it. It was a job, after all, and most people wouldn't turn down a salary like that. Oh, Brad, I forgot to tell you. She told us how much they'd pay us if we'd help. It was a lot. More wealth than you can imagine. But I was still totally against doing it. My brother told me he'd go along with whatever I decided, so I decided we were leaving. A couple days passed, and then Alice showed up at our apartment. She didn't waste any time. The people behind the first nonary game might have been part of the terrorist organization Alice and the SOIS were after. Really? Wasn't that she asked something I might want to know more about? Well, considering the top people from that were killed as part of the second one, whatever, that got me curious. My brother too. But the clincher was what Seven said to us. He was one of the guys that got abducted with us for the second nonary game. She called him on her phone right then and there and handed it to us. You guys are the only people who can do this. We don't know where Junpei is. He's gone off to travel the world looking for Akane. I haven't been able to get a hold of him. Please, just do me a favor and help Alice out. Jinpei, like 7 another participant from the second nonary game. Akane, one of the people behind the second nonary game. 7 was a Japanese policeman, which was probably how Alice got in touch with him. Anyway, that did it. My brother and I agreed to join the SOIS. For the next couple months, all we did was train. Half of the time it was general knowledge and technical skills an SOIS agent needed, and the other half was learning to strengthen our Esper abilities. They'd actually known about Espers for quite a while and had a lot of techniques that helped us get better and stronger. After several months of hard work, we were finally ready for our first field missions. Mine was an infiltration. My brother stayed at the base so I could relay information back through him. I was supposed to sneak into a research facility, posing as one of their workers, and then use the morphogenetic field to transmit what I found back to my brother. But everything went wrong. It was a trap. The whole research facility was fake, and I got captured. Alice had to come and rescue me. I'd been sending information about the inside facility to my brother, and Alice used that information to come and find me. As soon as she got there, she picked me up and carried me out. I was relieved and happy to be alive and free, but I was also ashamed and miserable. While she was carrying me back out, I started to cry. She was just so cool, and I wasn't. I wanted to be just like her, so from that day onward, I did everything I could to be more like Alice. Oh my goodness, it just keeps going. Our infiltration ended in failure, but we did manage to get something useful. In fact, we were able to figure out where their headquarters was. Considering it was fake and meant to trap you, that's a pretty dumb mistake on their part, but okay. Or another trap. The directors decided that December 25th, 2028 would be the day we would strike. This time, I promised myself we wouldn't screw it up. I was finally going to get some answers about something that had been with me for most of my life. But then, on December 22nd, 3 days before the raid, Alice and I were attacked by people in gas masks while we were going over our plans. People. Plural. That's news. And when you woke up, you were in the warehouse. All of that talking seemed to have tired Clover out. Ooh. So she should have connection to her brother still. But if she doesn't, that may indicate bad things. She sighed and her long hair swayed as she moved. Hey, I've got a few questions. Well, first off, your powers, I guess. I'm guessing you can't use them right now?
I'm not really sure why. I've been sending my brother messages ever since I woke up.
No response?
If there was another Esper here, they could make me stronger. But that's just wishful thinking. Wait. Well, if there's someone else who's stronger than me, then they kind of absorb my powers. Maybe...
Yeah, but maybe your brother's gotten sick and died from the virus.
No, never mind. That's probably not it.
Anyway, I have some other questions, so moving on. I think I understand what Alice was talking about now. They were trying to spread that virus, right? So who are they?
I can't tell you that.
What? Why not? You told me all that other stuff, but this is too much.
Alice would be mad at me.
I already told you I wouldn't tell her. Fine, let me rephrase. When are they going to do it?
If we knew that, we wouldn't have gone to all that trouble.
So you don't know?
All we know is soon.
But that could mean just about anything.
It could be next week or next month or even next year. Or it could have happened already.
Wait, you mean they might have already released the virus?
Wouldn't that make the most sense? Like, how about this room? Or that newspaper article? And the 3 people who were put in cold sleep.
Are you saying you, me, and Alice were frozen and the pandemic happened while we were on ice? Wait, no, that doesn't make sense. Nobody else has heard of Radical 6 either.
Maybe they're lying.
Really? All 6 of them?
If Kay really does have memory loss, then it's only 5. Quark is out too.
So you're saying Tenmyoji, Dio, Phi, and Luna are all lying? I guess they are a little suspicious. Well, Luna, definitely, considering one moment, oh no, I've never heard of this, and the next moment, oh yeah, no, I know how to treat this. I've seen this all over the place.
For lying?
And what's their motive?
How would I know?
And what's the motive for a terrorist organization to start a pandemic?
It was something about purifying the unclean?
Oh, lovely. Genocide. That's fun.
Oh, unclean. 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 Unclean.
Alright, can you please stop?
Shut up. Just hold on a minute. I'm this close to remembering.
Okay.
Unclean. Clean. Een.
What? She leapt up, suddenly excited.
Neostigmine!
Neo what?
Did you forget it already?
Yeah, the drug that we found in the box?
I'm talking about this stuff.
Yeah. What about it? As she spoke, she pulled some out of her pocket. Yeah, the injection gun with the vial of the medication. Yeah, but what was it?
Yeah.
I don't have any idea what it was, though, so I gave it to you.
Exactly.
Are you saying you've heard about this neostigmine stuff before?
That's what I'm saying. I just remembered.
You remembered?
My brother told me about that. Neostigmine is a type of colon esterase inhibitor. That means it's a sort of antidote for tubocurarine.
And probably still only enough for a single dose. Sorry, I still don't
easy
get
do
it.
I have to make?
Yeah.
I'll start at the top. The stuff I've got in here is neostigmine, which counteracts the muscle relaxant tubocurarine. Following me?
Tubocurarine is the poison in our bracelets, right?
It's the second thing we get injected with if we're penalized.
First, is this over?
Yeah, but she doesn't leave.
Which I guess you could.
So you're saying this neostigmine keeps it from working?
Yes! Oh my...
So we can just inject ourselves with this if we get penalized?
We don't have to die. We're gonna be okay. We can
one
only
dose.
pull the trigger once, though.
That means we can only use it on one person. And once. I guess, unless there are fail-safes and there's multiple of them for this exact contingency, well, it's still good news. It means one of us can break the rules once. Like, let's see.
The best way to use it would be for sneaking through the number 9 door. If somebody gets 9 points, they can open it, right? With this stuff, somebody who doesn't have 9 points could still leave with them. Anyway, I'm gonna go tell Alice.
What? Hey, Clover, wait! Clover! It was too late. Clover was already on the lift and gone. Yep. Damn. I was, I think understandably, upset. With no stairs, my only choice was to wait for the lift to come back down. As soon as it was back, I jumped on and headed upstairs. You doing okay there, Fi? Where'd Clover go? That's not good. She didn't say anything, just stared at me with her mouth half open. Her eyes seemed slightly glazed and her body was unnaturally stiff. Fi? Grabbed a shoulder and shook her gently. Slowly, she raised her arm, fingers drooping limply from it. She gestured toward the exit that led away from the warehouse. That way? She went out that door? Fi's only answer was a slow, shallow nod. Right, got it, thanks. I headed for the exit, then paused. You look pretty tired. Get some rest, alright? Still no response. There was something odd about her, but catching Clover seemed like more of a priority. Turned back around and jogged out the door toward the treatment center. I get a bad feeling this is heading towards an ending. Which, by and large, are bad ends. Well, perhaps they've all gone to the Floor B warehouse already? This is weird. Where is everybody? I'd assumed Alice would be in the treatment center, so Clover would have gone there to find her, but the room was empty. Luna and Tenmyoji were gone too. They'd left Quark, and the read on his pod said his vital signs were still normal. As far as I could tell, he was still asleep. Fine, guess it's time to go look somewhere else. Made my way out of the treatment center. Yeah, this doesn't bode well. Although it's really kind of curious that Fi is exhibiting symptoms this much before I am this time, but whatever, I guess that's the randomness of the various timelines. The only consistency seems to be that Quark is the first to exhibit. Hello? Well, what the hell? What is going on here? I can't find anybody. Every single room is empty. Wait, there's still one place I haven't checked. The infirmary. get a bad feeling about this. Yep, the music stopped too. Oh shoot! And suddenly now I'm in. Yeah, okay. Yep. I think we have run into a dead end now. Emphasis on both dead and end, honestly. I ran into the room and stopped short. I might as well have run into a brick wall. My chest tightened so much I could barely breathe. No, what happened? I felt my whole body convulse, whether from terror or nausea, I couldn't tell. My legs went limp and I crumpled to the floor. Something sticky pressed against the palm of my hand, and I looked down to see blood. A vast, warm pool of fresh blood stretching out across the room, lapping at my legs and hands. Why? This can't be real. How could... Yeah, looks like we all took too long. And... How did Phi beat me back up here? Yep, looks like Radical 6 got to us before anything else could. Where's Kay, though? In the middle of the lake of blood, like an island of flesh, were bodies. They were a bloody tangle of lifeless limbs and dead eyes, with too much blood and chaos for me to tell who was who. Had they sliced themselves open or stabbed one another? I couldn't tell. All the blood. Too much blood. Whatever they'd done, it was clear what tool they'd used to do it. A scalpel lay in the blood next to them, its handle and blade streaked with gore. This was how they'd died, this tiny blade. Oh, this is it. It's all over. This is how it ends. That's right. I have to end it. This nightmare will finally be over. Time to wake up. Okay. Yep. I have definitely been taken by the virus. My fingers scraped across the floor as I picked up the scalpel. I lifted it slowly, carefully to my neck, as if someone were guiding my hand with theirs, and drew it across my throat. And I assume that we can assume that Kay found some other way to off himself, because we all took way too long and ended up succumbing to the virus. Well, no, not all, but considering that, Quark, there's the name. Considering Quark was only in the treatment thing and not in cryosleep, there's probably a limit to how long he'll be able to be fine in there. Oh! Huh! I guess that does explain why she talks so much, so that was full-on Clover End. So now when we click save... Yes! We have another face ending! Excellent! Alright, so, looking at the time... Odds are the Betray route doesn't go on nearly as long, but I still think we're going to go ahead and leave that for the next episode, especially because then, assuming it does not go on for nearly so long, then we'll pop back to looking at this. Right, so we have to solve that in order to get any further there. That's a lock. That's a lock, so... Yeah, we'll do that, and then I think we'll head back here and pick probably Betray. Yeah, pick Betray in this route, and then we'll take this route so that the entirety of the yellow route will now be... I know I just switched between route and route, but anyhow, the entirety of this, short of any locks, will be completed, and then we can go ahead and move on to completing the remainder of the Cyan, which will hopefully at some point be giving us the keys in order to access these last couple, so... We're probably getting pretty close now to the final stretch. Thanks for watching, and we will catch you next time.